Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be answering some questions from a Q&A that I posted on my Instagram story a couple days ago. We have some really great questions lined up, and so let's get into the video. All right, so we're starting off with question number 1, and it is, what are your top 3 blessings in life other than family and friends, and your top 3 condemnations in life, or I guess like afflictions and stuff like that? So I would say honestly number 1, other than family and friends, would probably be education. My parents were in a position to put me in private school for all through my years, and then also send me to college. And so in that, I feel very blessed that I've been able to acquire an education that has given me options in the job market. I would say my second of the 3 blessings is the environment that I grew up in. I grew up in an area where a lot of people knew each other or knew of each other, and so a lot of people looked out for each other, and it was really supportive. Sometimes it did get overbearing though, because there would be people that you don't know really well come talk to you as if they're your parents. But other than that, I know that I can call on a lot of those people for support in many different ways, and they would come through for me. And so I know the prompt said excluding family and friends, what are the top 3 blessings, but I have to include them in this third one. But I'm going to elaborate as to why they're included and why I can't leave them out. My family and friends are included in the top 3 blessings because, as I mentioned earlier, my parents put me in a position for success. Additionally, the village that I have helped propel me through life. My friends created a community that I can rely on to feel safe and to feel loved. And so all of those things played into who I am today. I received encouragement, I received safety and love from all those different communities. And so yeah, that is why they're included in my top 3 blessings. And now on to the top 3 condemnations. I feel like my procrastinative tendencies make my life a lot more difficult than it has to be. It creates a lot of stress and anxiety as due dates come closer. And so, yeah, that's definitely, I would say, number 1. For number 2, it's something that's pretty much just a really big inconvenience, and that is essentially undiagnosed OCD. After talking to a therapist and getting some really rudimentary assessments done, it appears that I have something called a BFRB, which is a body-focused repetitive behavior that manifests itself in me picking and biting my nails and the skin around my nails. It results in me bleeding, and it just is not a good look at all. And so yeah, that's definitely something that I'm working on. And for the third and final one, it depends on how you look at it, but I can be pretty stubborn. I'm very headstrong. Things that I want to do, I will do, and things that I don't want to do, I won't do. That definitely works well in times where I have to stand firm on my beliefs, and I won't waver, and I'll set up boundaries as necessary. However, when there are things that are good for me or people want me to try new things, if I've made up my mind that I'm not going to do it, you can't make me do it. And so, yeah, depends on how you look at it. All right, question number 2. If you can go back to the start of your fitness journey, would you do anything differently? 100% yes. The one thing I would do differently is nutrition. I feel like I've always had a pretty solid understanding of progressive overload and pushing weight and not doing too many exercises and hitting all the different muscle groups and things like that. But as far as nutrition goes, I just ate whatever I wanted, and I just got a little bit extra protein into my diet. And so tracking your macros, being intentional with your eating, making sure that your style of eating lines up with your goals is going to be essential, and it'll definitely allow you to see progress a lot quicker than somebody who is not focused on those type of things. And so nutrition is key, and that is what I would focus on a lot more if I could go back and do everything all over again. All right, question number 3, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? 5 years from now, I'm hoping that I am flourishing in my career, possibly even still with the same firm that I'll be starting with in October. I also hope to own a house or some property, whether I'm actively living there or renting it out, probably dabbling in some real estate, getting a better understanding of stocks and ETFs and investments and all of those type of things. As far as fitness goes, I hope to be able to generate an income from the content that I post, even if it isn't full-time content creation. Additionally, I'm hoping that people buy the fitness plans that I post on my website, which will be created in the near future, and that I'm able to bring more value to people as they work towards their fitness goals. On a personal level, I would probably be married in the next 5 years. Not 100% sure where I'll be living. I would like to stay in Houston, but we'll see what happens. And that kind of segues into question number 4, how is the love life? It's great. You know, I have my girlfriend. We've been together for a few years. I went to visit her where she lives up north for some time. And so, yeah, we're doing well. All right, question number 5, any entrepreneurial ideas? Yes, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I would have a website selling plans to people, and so I'd be able to generate some money from that, but also possibly in the future go into tech consulting on my own. I don't know, I'm okay with where I am right now, but I'm just coming out of college, going into the job market, so we'll see what happens over the next several decades, right? So, yeah. All right, so question number 6, what drove you to become a trainer? A big reason that I decided to become a personal trainer is because I've had an interest in fitness for several years. I was posting content on my Instagram page, more so as a personal diary to keep myself accountable. Some family and friends followed, and then a few other people followed. And so it was around that time that I decided that I'm going to buy the personal training course. And then when 2022 hit, I would be able to market myself as a certified personal trainer on campus. That was my plan, and then I went viral in October 2021, and then I had people from all over the world asking me for plans and things like that, and so it really worked out that I became a certified personal trainer in that moment to get that knowledge. One of the main reasons that I purchased the course and I went through it is so that all of the knowledge that I would need would be in one place. I felt like I could save time on acquiring the most amount of knowledge possible by just having it all condensed into one central location instead of having to go out to a lot of different places, verify certain things against what other people are saying, and things like that. And so between the textbook and the quizzes and the activities that I had to do, I feel very confident in my ability to train somebody and allow them to accomplish their fitness goals. All right, so next question, do you have a current fitness goal or does it change as you go along? Yes and no. Long term, my goal is to be as big and strong and aesthetic as I can get naturally, but in order to accomplish that, you need short-term goals to build up to that. So for example, in the coming weeks, I'll be going into a bulking phase where I'll be focused on putting on as much muscle and mass as possible. So that'll be a short-term goal. Then once that phase is completed, I will start cutting. And then my goal will primarily be to maintain the muscle that I put on and lose the fat that may have been acquired over that bulking phase. And so again, this is all accomplish that long-term goal of getting big, strong, and super aesthetic, but there are phases and steps to accomplish that goal, and it's just a matter of loving the journey. Next question, what keeps you still doing fitness personally and creating content? Again, for me, it's the goals, trying to get big, trying to get strong, trying to be super aesthetic. So that's really what keeps me doing fitness personally. As far as content creation, I really like bringing value to people in many different aspects. My content provides people with exercise routines. It can be entertaining, it can be educational. All of those things play into somebody who's on social media just looking for something. And so the encouragement that I receive from people all over the world who watch and interact with my content shows that I'm on the right path and I'm doing something that actually brings value. And so that's why I keep on doing it. All right, so next question is, what is post-grad life like and how is the transition to a new state? So far, post-grad life has been pretty chill. Immediately after graduation, I went on an internship in Ohio, and then after that internship ended in late July, I've pretty much just been chilling. And so no real complaints over here. As far as the transition into the new state goes, my mom and I visited Houston where we solidified housing and I got to meet some people that I'll be working with. And I will be moving in about a week and a half. That'll all be documented here on this channel. And so right now I'm just in preparations, packing up my items, working on logistics, and saying my goodbyes. All right, so the next question is bulking, caloric intake tips, creatine or protein, or both? As far as bulking goes, and this is what I'm going to do when I start my bulk, is I'm going to go to about 3 or 4 different maintenance calorie calculators, and I'm going to put in my metrics, my age, my weight, my height, my activity level, all of that. And each one of those maintenance calorie calculators are going to give me a different answer. From them, I'm going to take the average of all those different maintenance calories that they gave me. Will one maintenance calorie calculator suffice? Yes, more than likely. But also, we as average people are not about to go on stage to compete, so we can have a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to our calorie intake. From there, I'll take that maintenance calorie number and I'll add about 10 to 15% to that number, and that'll be the amount of calories that I intake daily. I'll have a high emphasis on protein and carbs. Protein so that my muscles will be able to build and grow and repair themselves, and carbs so that I'll continuously have enough energy to continue pushing weight and growing. As far as creatine and protein go, or both, I highly recommend both. When it comes to protein powder supplementation should only come if you're unable to get all the protein that you need in the day from your food. So remember, supplements like protein powder are just that. They are supplements. It's supposed to be used for supplementation, not substitution. So again, get as much protein as you can from actual food, and to just get you to your goal, you can have protein powder. Creatine is going to be very beneficial in your workout journey because what it does is it replenishes the energy in the muscles. So what you have is you have ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, the energy molecule in your body. And when you exert yourself during exercise, it loses one of its phosphates. What creatine does is it adds that phosphate to that adenosine diphosphate, because once it loses the tri, it becomes di, so now I have two phosphates. It adds that phosphate back to the adenosine diphosphate, making it ATP again, adenosine triphosphate, which then aids in recovery. It allows you to go harder in your workouts. It just overall is very beneficial, and so I would highly recommend both. The next question is, will the soreness ever go away? The answer is yes. Soreness comes from doing movements or exercises that you normally don't do, and so as you continue to do those movements, your body will become accustomed to it and you won't feel as sore. It sounds like what you're referring to is called DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, and it is completely normal. I even get sore sometimes when I take a break from doing a certain movement and then I come back in and I do that movement. I will feel sore, and so it's perfectly normal and it will go away, or at least go down significantly over time. And so the last question is a pretty funny one, and it is thoughts on muscular oil injections. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, these are a couple examples of what muscular oil injections look like. To me, it's foolish. I don't understand why somebody would be injecting their bodies with these things. To me, it appears like a severe case of body dysmorphia and cognitive dissonance, because I don't understand how you can continue to do this to your body and think that you look aesthetic or, pleasing. But at the end of the day, it is their body, and if they are happy with what they look like when they look in the mirror, that's all that I can ask for. I think everybody should be able to look in the mirror and say, I look like this on purpose. And if this is the body that they chose to be in, more power to them. So yeah, that is all for this video, my first Q&A. Thank you guys so much for the questions, and I will see you guys in the next video.